Today on TQA Weekly, I talk about censorship and buggy and unresponsive DNS servers. My name is Steve Smith and this is TQA Weekly. If ever you have any technology problems, questions, comments, suggestions, and or stories, you can always email me at ask@tqaweekly.com. Go to my website, tqaweekly.com, and use the contact form, or you can always use the comments box on this page. And before I go anywhere else, this episode of TQA Weekly is brought to you by ProXPN. ProXPN is a virtual private network that allows you to use the internet the way it should be, anonymously and without oversight. For your 20% off your new account of ProXPN, go to proxpn.com/podcast and use the coupon code TQAWEE. So a lot of you pay for ISPs to have internet access, and a lot of you enjoy the internet in a much regular way with no censorship, no problem, and this is not for you then. But if you have friends or family that suffer from these problems, or plagues, if you want to call them that way, I have a few solutions for you and a few places you can go to pick up alternative domain name servers. So basically, this is today's topic: dealing with bad, crummy, and censored internet connections. And it's not so much the internet connection, it's the information that you're trying to get. So what is a domain name server? A domain name server contains the connectivity information for your computer to get to a website, and nothing else. That's right, it contains nothing else. None of the content is stored on a domain name server. Yet, ISPs and other companies find cruel and unique ways of making your experience of the internet both slow and unresponsive, or to just outright censor websites on a whim because they believe the internet should be controlled by laws of natural countries all over the world when it shouldn't be. So I'm going to give you the tools you need to go and get to the websites you want to go. And by tools, I mean I'm going to show you the pages, and then I'm going to give you 3 suggestions that I would pick after I show you these 3 pages. So let's get to it. The first page we're going to be looking at is the one from WikiLeaks. So wikileaks.org/wiki/alternative_DNS. Of course, all the links that I'm going to be talking about are actually in the show notes. So that will be tqaweekly.com/SE3EP47. But back to the original point, wikileaks.org/wiki/alternative_DNS is a list of websites that do not censor content in the idea to combat the idea that some countries implement domain name servers that actually censor. So here is a fairly good list of places that we know based by territory, provider, kind of paid filter, and also support for IPv4 and IPv6. Relatively up to date. There are some information here that's not here, as the public DNS for Google actually does support IPv6, but here is a list that allows you to actually find out where you can go and connect to have your best experience. I do seriously suggest that you pay attention to the country as well as the kind of connectivity, since the closer the DNS server is going to be to you, the faster you're going to connect to a website. The second place would have to be speedguide.net/FAQ_in_Q.php $QID equals 128. A question about alternative DNS servers. Again, Google DNS, OpenDNS, Scrubit, DNS Advantage, and many others. This is a fairly good list that also indicates the countries for some of these entries, so pay attention to that and you should be fine. And the last one has to be about.com, so pcsupport.about.com/od/tips/free-public-DNS-servers.htm. So a list of now updated this month free and public DNS servers that contain their primary and secondary DNS servers. By the way, you will always need two. So let's say like these last two here, Hurricane and Puntcat, you can use both of these addresses being your primary and secondary. They don't matter in which order they come, just the fact that you have two or more. At the bottom underneath, it also states that you have IPv6 supports for various other websites and some other information that you may want to look at that is also important to all this. But that is 3 places, and one of the really cool things about this is the fact that some of these names repeat, so you get to know that many people believe that these are valid choices. So by valid choices and which ones repeat, I am actually talking about OpenDNS, OpenNIC, and Google's public DNS. These services are offered in these lists on all 3 places. They're talked about all over the internet as being the best places you can connect to. Of course, when we're analyzing these 3, we need to analyze them completely. So OpenDNS only offers IPv4 connectivity, and I have never seen it to actually offer IPv6 connectivity. However, it does scan for malicious content as a page filter, but that's all it scans. OpenNIC and Google's public DNS have IPv4 and IPv6 support, but do not scan the pages, which is almost what we want because we don't want the internet censored. However, if this is for you and you want access to the entire internet and you are careful, go with those 2. If you're trying to get the internet for people that you know are not necessarily capable of securing themselves, OpenDNS would be the best choice. So basically it comes down to who do you prefer and who is this for? It comes down all the time to you. Of course, pay attention to the country because the closer the DNS is going to be to you, the better. So where can you install these alternative DNS servers? Since that it's all fine and dandy to tell you where you can get them, where do you install them? Well, you've got several choices. You can go per device. So you'd have to go into the settings of Windows, Mac, or Linux, or your telephones, and actually pay attention and putting in at least 2 different IP addresses to allow you to connect. And now the reason why there's 2 is just in case one is too busy, you drop to the second one. Then the other choice you have is at the router level. You would replace in the internet options the domain name server, again using 2 or more IP addresses for the domain name servers. It's every time you go and visit a brand new website, that's when your DNS server is going to be queried, and that's when everything can be failed or censored. Of course, next week I'm going to be talking about the Beast attack, and I won't give any more details than that, so if any of you are interested you can go and look it up. But I'm going to be talking about one of the most, how do we say, dangerous attacks against the security of websites on the internet. And now let's talk about another group of people that are actually on the internet anonymizing it and giving you a better service just in case your ISP is trying to censor your internet, ProXPN. Because now more than ever, your online freedom and privacy are under threat. Governments and ISPs want to control what you can or cannot see while keeping a record of everything you do. Plus that free Wi-Fi at the coffee house or airport terminal or anywhere else is putting you at risk because your passwords and sensitive data can and probably are being intercepted more easily than you might think. ProXPN is a global VPN that works with almost any internet connection. It creates a secure encrypted tunnel through which all your online data passes back and forth. Any online application can work with ProXPN, including your web browser, email, file sharing, and instant messaging programs. ProXPN keeps everything you do online hidden from prying eyes, disguising your physical location and giving you unfettered access to any website or online service, no matter where you live or travel to. Complete online privacy with a 2048-bit encryption key, 512-bit encryption tunnel, works with OpenVPN or PPTP, protects you against the ISP's 6 strikes rule and any content filtering they're going to try to put in your way, bypasses internet filtering, blocked websites, geographical restrictions for internet content and online video with worldwide servers available, again, in the US, UK, Asia, and more. Software for Windows and Mac offering advanced controls allowing you to select which programs and ports you want to anonymously root through ProXPN servers. ProXPN also works with your iOS or Android device, allowing you to use your data plan or public corporate Wi-Fi with complete and total privacy on the go with no app required. 24/7 customer support. So remember my show when you go to ProXPN. Go to proxpn.com/podcast for more information and to sign up. TQA Weekly watchers and listeners also get a free 30-day risk-free trial. Remember to go to proxpn.com/podcast and sign up with the coupon code TQAWEE. ProXPN premium accounts are normally $9.95 a month or $74.95 for the entire year. We got a special offer just for you. Use the coupon code TQAWEE and receive 20% off the lifetime of your brand new ProXPN account. Thank you for watching, subscribing, and listening. Have a great day and goodbye. Thank you for listening to TQA Weekly. Show your support by liking this episode, subscribe to get our latest episodes as they come out, and share with friends and family who may benefit from such a show as this. You may send us your questions, comments, suggestions, and or stories to ask at tqaweekly.com. For our show notes, links to our Android application, alternate means of subscribing to our show, and information on joining our weekly newsletter, head over to tqaweekly.com. Stay safe and online, and have a great day.